And you can also participate class, pwede kayong maki-participate if you have something to say with regards to the topic, pwede kayong makipag-participate. Yan na ang mundo natin ngayon class. We are now in the world of social media. Sabi nga nila, nasa internet world na tayo. That's why talagang ganyan na ngayon, normal na yan. This is just a reminder, please take down note, yung mga lecture ni Madam. Yung iba nag-screenshot, okay lang yan, do the screenshot para naman yan yung magiging point of reference ninyo kapag gusto niyo mag-review, easily lang. Pero I advise na magkuhan kayo, you use ball pen and paper, or notebook. I do suggest that you are going to use the traditional one. Iba kasi yung pagre-review sa cellphone kaysa pagre-review sa notebook or papel, So iba pa rin 'yan. Tapos mas maganda yung you are listening and at the same time you are going to write what you hear. Kasi nakakakuha niyan it goes learning class is not only by one means only or one factor. Marami ang pamamaraan para tayo matuto. Yung iba, nakikinig lang, natututo sila. Papakinggan ulit, natututo sila. Yung iba naman, they will listen and then they will write. Yung iba rin naman, naglalakad, iniisip yung re-review, napakinggan, tapos pag hindi ma-recall, nire-review ulit. So, yun. Mga iba-ibang kwan yan. So, mas maganda na you are going to listen and at the same time, mag-take down note kayo dyan. Okay? At saka isa pa, para hindi kayo antukin. Alam nyo, ito, mga ganitong webinar natin, iba talaga yung face-to-face na nakaupo ka dyan, kaharap mo yung lecturer, yung speaker, Iba talaga yung ganun kaysa yung ganitong virtual. Minsan, yung iba nga, naka-on na dyan, tapos wala pala. Pag tawagin mo yung pangalan, wala na pala siya dyan, ganun talaga, sa webinar. Pero ito, wag nyo, again, if you have questions later on, pwede kayong magtanong sa speaker natin. And by the way, our speaker is no other than Miss May San Gabriel Ramones, multi-job preference kung criminologist ka class. Hindi lang yung PNP, hindi lang yung BGMP, Hindi lang yun, pati rin, kalimbawa, gusto mong maging instructor kagaya namin, you can also enter, in the higher education.
So, apparently, I was still, I think, secondary college. Then Sir Donald Sumadon is in Quirino State College, university na yun. So, to start with, I would just like first to introduce myself. I am May San Gabriel Ramones. I am originally from Quirino. I am a graduate of Bachelor of Science in Criminology in year 2009. But I just take my board exam in 2011 because kailangan pa natin mag-ipon noon ng budget para sa board exam. So I took my board exam at Baguio City year 2011. So luckily, I just passed the board exam taking just once with God guidance, And then, after that, I was then an instructor in Cagayan, in Tuguegarao, especially in a place of FL Vargas College for almost 5 years. So I think that is almost 5 years, since 2012 to 2017. Then after that, I was then an administrative assistant to in Nagtipunan National High School using my license as a criminologist, as well as stated by Sir Sumadon. If you are really a registered criminologist, you are not only fit to the services or what we call, hindi lang naman tayo sa serbisyo makakapasok. There are other options, but still, in our own ways. Pwede naman nilang i-convert yung license natin. Then after administrative assistant 2 in the division of Quirino, I was then promoted a teacher 2 of the senior high school, major in social science. Why? At the time that I was teaching in college, dyan sa Vargas noon, nag-aaral ako. Nagtuturo ako sa umaga, nag-aaral ako sa gabi, taking up my earning units because I want to be what we call a greener pasture. A greener pasture kasi po, kailangan natin talaga na syempre maghanap ng public. Alam naman natin. I really love teaching in college, no? You know, I handled almost 1,000 students in Vargas. Kung alam niyo, sino ba ang taga-Tugigaraw dito? Marami ba? Let me just know. Habang nagtuturo ako sa umaga, pagkatapos ng klase ko ng 5:30, I go to Vargas College the annex dun sa Bagay Road to study the earning units kasi uso na noon yun K-12, so nagkakaroon ng senior high school. Then, after that, I took the board exam for licensure examination for teachers. And then, luckily, kahit hindi tayo nakapag-enter sa review center, luckily, I just passed the licensure examination for teachers. So, I am a registered criminologist at the same time a licensed professional teacher since 2018, 17 ako nakapasa ng LET ko with the discussion on law enforcement administration. Then, to give you up, what about law enforcement administrations is it covered, no? It covered how many percent in the board exam? Covered almost 20%, no? 20% po yan sa ating board exam. You know, class, it's very much important na as early as now, you can now have what we call a comprehensive knowledge about the law enforcement administration because it covers up many division or what we call division of subjects. So I will just give you an info about the criminology board, no? Kasi kailangan talaga, you have to focus. Hindi yung sasabihin, second year na kayo lang, or second year pa lang ako, is kailangan. Okay lang, chill-chill lang yan. No, should not be. Kailangan at the early, you enter, and you have your, what we call in your mind that you want to be a police officer, then or you have to be a criminologist someday, then you have to be serious in studying. Kasi ang pag-aaral, nako, kailangan yan talaga, todo effort yan, ho, para maging top-notcher kayo. Kasi pag isa ng qualification yan ngayon, kapag ka naging top-notcher ka, then, nako, trabaho ang maghahanap sa inyo. So, I will just give you, no, I will share the screen for you to be able to identify the different cluster, subject, and competency to be checked in the law enforcement administration. Ang lawak kasi ng sakop ng law enforcement administration. It doesn't mean kapag nag-exam na kayo later on ng law enforcement administration, ito yung coverage ng exam. Because it is not just like in college that ako kasi when I was teaching in college, I have to give the exactly pointers to review so that the student will be able, there is no reason for the student to fail. So, yun ang ginagawa ko. Now, I will be sharing my screen. Are the new examination syllabus series of 2009. So, ipapakita ko lang sa inyo kung gaano ba talaga kalawak ang law enforcement administration and carries out 20% in the board exam. So, when it comes to police organization and administration with police planning, it has only 3.8% out of 20%. So, ano ba yung hinahanap niya? First, you have to take down notes. First is the introduction to police administration. So, anong covered ng 0.8 pa lang yun, ha? 0.8 ng 3.8 sa police organization administration with police planning. Ang coverage niya ay show basic knowledge and understanding on significant developments in the world history of policing. So, dali, ipapalaki ko lang siya. Hindi kasi siya, makikita niya na. So, which is a brief lang naman ito. Yeah, the Philippine National Police. So, ang ibig ko lang ipaghiwatig sa inyo dito is you have to make sure at this moment, at this year level, you have to know to divide the subjects immediately. Ibig sabihin, as early as now, you have to manage the division of subject para later on, there is an easy way for you to review. Because if we are well managed talaga, automatically, mas madali nating maiintindihan. So here we are. Nakikita yung screen?
Yes, ma'am.
So, when we say preliminary, here are some preliminary notes about REA. You know that this REA is the most comprehensive area in the criminology board examination, carrying away 80% from the total percentage of the scoring. So, these are the coverage. Oh. So, ang lawak. So, ang lawak ng coverage ng law enforcement administration. Pero as we go on with the discussion, we might touch, we might discuss the different coverage of this subject. So we have here in the part 1, the policing systems of the police organization, or how it came up with the word police, or the etymology. When we say etymology, that is the history why we developed the word police. Basically, when you are having your introduction to criminology, it's already discussed, right? But take note, class, as you can see on the screen, we use different what we call development of the term. So we use the Greek, the Roman, the French, and take note, class, you have to really identify as now as easy na kailangan malaman nyo na yung mga what we call, kung ito ba ay salita na galing sa Grego, or salita sa Romano, or sa French. Kasi it is for you to be able to understand it easily. No? So, first is, when we say police, it was developed from the Greek word, no, politeia or polizia, from the Greek, which means the government of a city, or what we call the safekeepers of a territory. So next is from the Roman word, it called it politeia. So it's same meaning above, parehas lang yan. They only use and adopt it by their own languages. But when we say in the times of French word police, no, or English word, it is the person to enforce law. So it was borrowed by the English and Americans, referred to law enforcer. But the constable patrol is from the French in origin. Historical background, as we go on, kailangan din naman natin alamin yung mga, I think it is just a review on the background, no? Kahit na nakalipas na siya, kailangan talaga natin balikan. Kasi di ba, may mga bagay-bagay talaga tayo na kailangan balikan. Masakit man, kailangan balikan ang katotohanan. Para hindi kayo bored. Okay. In the year 2003, guys, what? Derek? Yes, Derek? Nagsasalita si Derek kanina. Derek Chan. So, as we go on. 2,300 before Christ, it was started, no? The Sumerian Lipit Star and Ishuma is the one who set the standard on what constituted an offense against society. Yan yung sinasabi nating nagkaroon tayo ng Sumerian Code. It was adopted by this, diba? But as we go on, yeah, in the year 2100 before Christ, pag sinabi natin Babylonians, it was what we call the old, no? Yan yung pinaka-old o oldest. That is the code of King Hammurabi or what we call the principle of Lex Talionis, no? Harsh code yan. Ibig sabihin, andyan na lahat yung klase ng mga ordeal na karamihan is kalumaan na, no? Next is in the Egyptians. The court system presided by judges appointed by the Pharaoh, no? Nagkaroon na rin tayo noon ng court system. When it comes to Marine Patrol and Custom House Officer, protecting commerce started was first use of dog patrol. Kasi ang Leia kasi it was covered of the policing system. So Med-Jays is the civilian police under the command of a military. Sa atin, it was called an army, no? Ancient Greek Kufori is what they called the law enforcers. Ang tawag sa kanila is law enforcers, Kufori. Sa mga law enforcers nila, Kufori ang tawag. Pero here in the Philippines nowadays, we call them a police officer. Ancient Rome, and dyan nagsimula, ayan po, the 12 tables. That is the firmly written laws by Emperor Augustus, who created the Praetorian Guard urban cohorts, or what we call the city patrol. Kaya as you can see, we have parang ang level niya in the new era or nowadays is what we call yung PCR, the Police Community Relations. They are assigned in the community. So they are now considered the urban cohorts at the time of ancient Rome. Pag sinabi naman natin the vigilantes or the firefighters, that is what we call the Bureau of Fire na natin. It was separated, but at the time of the ancient Rome, we called them the vigilantes. But of course, the contributor is Emperor Justinian. Corpus Juris Civilis is what we call the body of law at the time of ancient Rome. They are, pag sinabi din natin vigilantes, they are the first civilian police force which keep the peace very right lawlessly, hence the word vigilantes. Kaya nagkaroon sila ng vigilantes. Sinabi kasi natin vigilant, diba? It was the word worst. Then, we go to the, during the Anglo-Saxon period, no? That is 1600 to 1066 after that. So, ito siya. Sa Frank Pledge system, he discussed that male over 12 years old will join 9 of his neighbors to form a typing men. There is a group of men whose duty was to apprehend any person whose offends another and deliver that offender for trial. So what does it mean? For example, in just one area or one place, o sabihin na lang natin ngayon, one barangay, no? Sa isang barangay, lahat ng lalaki na nagkakaedad ng 12 years old, they have to, nine of his neighbors, siyam. Ang tawag sa kanila, bubuo sila ng grupo na may kalalakihan na nagkakaedad ng 12 years old, and they called it typing men. Ano ang trabaho ng typing men? They are served as a police officer nowadays. Sana sila yung magsisilbi na kukuha, mag-apprehend o kumuha ng person who offends another, or there is a what we call criminal liability or nakagawa ng kasalanan. For what reason? They have the one to deliver the offender for trial. It is just like now na iba yung proseso when the person, police officer, will arrest a suspect carrying a warrant of arrest. Then they have that to be what we call legal. Legal ang pagkuha sa kanya. Ibibigay nila yung warrant of arrest para yun yung pamamaraan nila na i-deliver yung tao o yung offender for trial or put into trial. So, we adopted what we call serves the peace and order. So, Naiisip niyo ba yung barangay tanod natin ngayon? It was because of the history we adopted in the Anglo-Sanction, and that is the town policing. But in the town policing, compared to frank pledge system, with what we call the tithing, there is no age required. In the town policing, basta male resident that be able to guard the town, then they are considered police officers or peace officer at the time of the Anglo-Sanction. Ang tawag dyan is town policing. They have to protect the life, the property, and the peacefulness and orderliness of their vicinity or town or place. No? Next is who and cry. But sinasabi natin who and cry. Okay. The complainant or the victim goes to the middle of the community and shout to the assembly. To shout to call all male residents to assemble. The victim reports his complaint to the assembly. Then consequently, all the male residents will go after the criminal and apprehend him. Meron kasi akong alam noon, they adopted the who and cry, like what happened na naalala ninyo kung naabutan nyo or your parents that one time in your municipality or public market, kapag may nagnakaw, nakalagay dyan, ako'y isang magnanakaw ng kalabaw, baka, diba? Iikot yan sa buong palengke o buong municipality. It was really adopted in the who and cry. Kaya lang, the difference is that you are the victim. For example, I was then raped, but then I will go to the middle of that community and shout, I need your help. So all males, no, will assemble and then they will ask na isisigaw mo na the victim, the rapist is like, the rapist is this, gano'n. Sasabihin mo, then they will be the one to apprehend that person for him to go for the penalty. Next is royal judge system. The royal judge conducted criminal investigation and gave punishment fitted to the crime committed. So we have already here the royal judge. We use already the judge. Kaya meron din pala tayong judge ngayon. No? Next is the trial by ordeal. The trial by ordeal is a suspect who is required to place his hands over boiling water or oil. If he would not get hurt, he will be acquitted, but when hurt, he would be considered guilty. You know, in the time of this Anglo-Sanction, they believe on our guardian angels. Kaya nagkaroon ng trial by ordeal. Pag sinabing trial by ordeal, kumbaga, it have an ordeal, or there is meron silang paniniwala na kapag kahit gano'n ka-imposible sa panahon natin ngayon, di ba? Na there is a boiling water, then you put your hands, and then kapag hindi ka daw napaso, ibig sabihin you are innocent. I don't believe. Because nowadays, kumukulo nga lang na tubig na mabanyosan ka, ang sakit na ng balat natin. But in the trial by ordeal kasi, they believe that when you are good and you do nothing, you are innocent, you will be saved by your guardian angel. And remember that not when we say there are different trial by ordeal, the red hot iron, yan, the boiling water, chewing, ganyan, the donkey's tail. Marami tayong mga trial by ordeal. The Anglo-Sanction, this is the summary to make it more simplest, no? First is this Anglo-Sanction is really on the time of King Alfred, no? The town policy is, yan yung sinasabi ko, town con. That is, who and cry, complainant shouts, and royal judge is the one who investigates on punishment, and trial by order is having a painful test of guilt or innocence. Yung alam niyong napaka-imposible na ikaw may kasalanan. Kunwari si Francisco at saka si Mr. Akpal ay dalawa na napagbintangang nagnakaw ng kalabaw. At that time, sabi nila, ito, I will give you the ordeal of boiling water. Ilagay niyo yung dalawang kamay niyo doon hanggang sa balikat or sa siko. Pag hindi ka daw napaso, kung sino daw yung hindi napaso at nasaktan, siya ang innocent. Pero kung sino yung napaso, yun yung guilty one. So, naniniwala ba kayo sa ganun ngayon? I think
Hindi.
siguro yung hindi, di ba? It was very impossible for us to believe that one. But, at the time of the Uncle Sanction, because yung kauna-unahang pang panahon, yun ang kanilang pinaniniwalaan. So, we will now go to the normal period of policing. As the time goes by naman kasi, it was really developed, di ba? Nade-develop para lang din tao, o para lang din tayo noon. As you go back to your childhood, and you see to your teenhood, being teen and being adult, di ba? Makikita nyo noon, dungisin kayo. O dahil lumalaki at nagdadalaga kayo, nagiging gwapo na. Di ba? Aminin natin, di ba? Mga bata, as we in the childhood, nako, rum wartibutid na ita. Di ba? Hanggang ma-enhance ng teenhood, nako, ang gwapo na. Right? May transformation talaga. It's the same with also here in policing. As we go to the old one, sunod-sunod na yan. It is just like in the classical time, to neoclassical, up to the modern or what we call the contemporary. Now, in the normal period of policing, we go back, he started the Shire Reeve. The Shire is the district or country, and the Reeve is the ruler. Later called a sheriff. England was divided into 55 military districts under the control of a reeve. It is just like in the army, di ba? In the army. Or in the police police system. That we have our COP, and then there are what we call his men, the person that must keep that when there is a ruler, the one who will guide a strong ruler, it will guide his men. So, mas makakabuti. So, it can, what we call, mapapanat na kamataas na ruler. May nakamataas na tao, and that is the ruler, the reeve. Kaya tinawag siyang Shire Reeve. Why? He is the ruler of the district. Or the country. He is the boss.
Nawawala ba ako, Upin?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay na ba?
Ma'am, copy.
Loud and clear na ba?
Clear na ba? Copy ba tayo?
Yes, ma'am. Copy po.
Copy, sorry
mga anak. Sabihin niyo sa akin yung nawawala tayo, ha? Yan, meron na ba?
Meron na ba?
Yes, ma'am. Learn na po, ma'am.
Sorry. Ano ba? Saan ba ako malabo?
Ma'am, sa traveling judge.
Okay, sa traveling judge tayo. Sa traveling judge kasi, it was distorted. Case was render the judgment and gives punishment. If you can consider now,
yung ating korte, di ba? Meron tayong sinasabing municipal trial court na isang judge lang. Pero pag sinabi natin municipal circuit trial court, yun yung dalawang munisipyo ang covered niya and the judge ay isa. So, parang in-incline nila sa traveling judge, parang parehas din. Kaya lang kasi, di ba magta-travel si Judge 1? Covered niya, for example, municipality of what we call Maglipay, pupunta siya sa Bicol, gano'n. So, two municipalities, one judge, so magta-travel talaga. Literally traveling, no, the judge, for him to render the judgment and give punishment. Next is the legislenry. The legislenary, or what we call the policemen, were considered the public officials. Sa atin kasi ngayon, di ba, official is public officials. They are elected. But in the law of King Henry I, policeman is also considered a public official. They give this for what we call, they set rules also. Magna Carta laws with the demand of the Knights of the Round Table beginning the national and local government and legislation. Oh, that's true. Magna Carta also adopted in the field of education, no? May mga rule yan na sinusunod. And just because of, there is what we call, nagkaroon na ng pag-adapt ng Magna Carta from the local to national and through the legislation. Next is in the wings, ayan. Okay, the Winchester period. Ito lang naman yung mga panahon na nagkakaiba-iba, no? It is their policing system, ha? Huwag kayong maguluhan. The only difference here is the period, kung paano nila tinawag ang isang police officer ng panahon ni Anglo Sanction hanggang it was developed to the different period. First, Statute of Winchester. It is year 1285, watchmen or 16 heads was enacted for law and order. So they introduced the system of watch and ward. Statute of 1295, the Gate of London, and that is this curfew system adapt. Sunset na, dapat wala nang nakalabas. So we adopted that. That is the time we adopted the curfew. It was in the Winchester period. Meron na pala talagang curfew hour noon. But not on the limitations of hour sila nagbabase, but instead, the close of the sundown, the sunset, and the sunrise, sila nagbabase ng kanilang curfew system. Then, the justice of the peace, or the justice of the peace, or what they call the law officer in the Winchester period, it is a position given to respected citizen who has the power to arrest, pursue, and imprison the offenders. Ang katumbas naman nito sa correctional, I think, is yung sinasabi natin when we give the bail, diba, we have different kinds of bail. The cash fund, the property, and the recognizance, or the recognizance. So this is, no, they give the power to the well-known person. And when it comes to the recognizance, diba, okay, don't you worry, I will be taking care of that person na pag oras na ng kanyang trial, I will put him back. Respected kasi sila. So, sa Winchester period, kinoconsider nila yung mga respected citizen, or what we call the good moral. If that person is having a good moral, good reputation, then it is good. He will be the one, the justice of peace. Star Chamber Court, special court to try offenses against the state. Oh, what is the in the Supreme Court, in the Supreme Court, in the Court of the Philippines, what we consider Star Chamber Court? Sige nga. Sino sa inyo ang magbibigay? O magbibigay ako ng load. I-message niya ako mamaya. The question is, ano ang katumbas ng Star Chamber Court dito ngayon sa Pilipinas na in-adapt natin? O the special court to try offenses against the state. O among si Jay. Come on, CJ. Hindi ko nakikita kung... CJ, are you there? Baka naman naka-in lang pero hindi nakikinig. Come on. Sasabihin ko yan kay Sir Sumadon. Next is Mr. Felix Cabrera. Mr. Felix, ano sa tingin mga star chamber nakatumbas ngayon sa Pilipinas? Hello. Hello there. Ako, hindi kayo nag-hear. How about Miss Joanna May Mangrubang?
Ma'am.
Yes, Miss Joanna, what do you think is what we call the equivalent of the Star Chamber Court here in the Philippines? That is special court to try offenses against the state. What do you think? Wala namang maling sag. Kung check natin para alam natin kung tama, magsabi lang tayo ng sagot. Diba? Hindi naman... Miss Joanna. Naku, Sir Donald, wala yatang sumasagot. Miss Mary Grace. Pasilabban. Come on, magbibigay ka ng 50 pesos loan. 50 Gcash.
May question mo?
Ano ang katumbas ng Star Chamber Court dito sa Pilipinas? Oh, come on. Hindi pwedeng ako lang nagsasalita.
Supreme Court? Ano to? Supreme Court, ma'am?
Supreme Court is considered to be the highest court, right?
Ma'am, here, ma'am.
Yes, Ariel. Ha? Ariel ano? Yes, Ariel. Ariel. Yes. Ariel. Wala na si Ariel. Naririnig pa ba ako? O next is Sherwin. Nako, ayaw niyo ba ng 50 pesos load? Mr. Bong Ablanagan.
Ma'am, Javier, ma'am.
O Javier. Javier ba? Javier. Sorry, Javier.
Javier, ma'am.
O, come on,
Ma'am,
Javier.
ano ma'am? Private offices of judges, ma'am? Judge?
No.
Ma'am, yung answer ko, ma'am, is of
Common law of judges.
Common law of judges. So, what is that special kind of court? Ibig sabihin, in the, diba, we have the Supreme Court, the Court of Appeals, the Ombudsman, the Court of Tax Appeals. So, diba, we have that in our, in the Philippines. Diba? The different kinds of courts. From the highest to the lowest, diba? So, ano kayang katumbas nun? Against the state, sabi. O kaya they can file what we call public entities. Yan. Kung saan, dito natin pinafile ang mga sinasabi nating graft and corruptions. Ganyan. Sino na?
ma'am, try ko po, ma'am.
Yes, ano, try mo lang. Sige lang.
Sandigang Bayan, ma'am.
Why it is Sandigang Bayan?
Ma'am, dahil sa corruption, ma'am. Ma'am, dahil po sa corruption. Corruption po ng gobyerno. Ma'am, narinig po ba ako? Ma'am, nandyan pa po ba kayo?
Wait lang natin, baka nagkupan lang yung signal ni ma'am. Baka nagkakaproblema yung connection niya. Let's wait at mag-resume siya.
Next is the trial list. This is the time of King Charles. So, mapapansin nyo, lahat ng mga tawag is depende sa panahon kung sino ang nag-create, kung paano itawag. No? Or the way we call them, or the way we identify the police officers a while back, the policing system, then that is. The time of King Charles appointed the night watchers known as bellmen on duty from sunset to sunrise. So, as you can see, from the time of ang presumption ba yun? Yung nagkaroon tayo ng sunset to sunrise, no? Sila ganun din, curfew hour. Pero ang tawag sa mga taong nag-i-implement ng curfew nila, that is known to be the bellmen. No? Night watchers, sila ang nagbabantay mula sunset to sunrise. No? Nagsasalita ka? Next. Hello? Ano?
Ma'am, wala po yung share
Ma'am, wala po
screen.
yung screen, ma'am.
Wala po yung screen.
Nawawala ulit. Wait na continue. Yan, meron na ba?
Wala pa, ma'am.
Wala nga. Sorry, nawala talaga ang internet ko. Meron na?
Wala po, ma'am.
Oh my God. Wala nga ako.
Wala pa, ma'am. Wala.
Wait lang. Kasi, nagre-rejoin ako dun sa kabila. Wait lang na.
Ma'am, tatlo kami sa isang cellphone, ma'am. Pwede lang po ba, ma'am?
I just let me know, ha, kung ilan kayo dyan later on, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Okay na?
Okay na po, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Wait lang din. Ang laki talaga ng difference in the new normal na while back, no, when I was still in this, the previous, no, na nagpapa-review in Apari, in Lyceum of Apari, yan. Mas maganda talaga personal. Kung pwede nga lang tayo mag-face-to-face, I will go there and to Bigaraw. Just to have the lectures, it's okay with me. Ang ganda, di ba? But don't you worry, guys. I will be giving you the PowerPoint na naka-PDF and I will giving you the soft copy ng buong Leia na kaya talaga namin, ay kaya ko talagang napagdugtong sa lahat ng content ng Leia. So, I will just give you.
Sige, ma'am.
Wait lang. Balik na tayo. So, later on, kung sino lang sa akin yung magbibigay ng kanyang nilad para I am open if you have questions not only in Leia, basta makakatulong sa inyo. Kung meron kayong discussions that you don't even hindi na what you call, may gusto kayong tanungin or may mga subject na medyo kailangan nyo ng assistance, if I am available, just PM me, just text me, or what you call, just chat nyo ko kasi gusto ko talaga na makatulong sa inyo kasi alam mo, ang sarap talaga sa pakiramdam naming mga teachers that we have you, the students na magiging professional someday. You know, honestly speaking, nowadays in the new normal ngayon at may mga sinasabi natin ano yun, restrictions sa daan, may mga hinahanap na kapapilan kapag lalabas tayo from one municipality to other municipality or one province to another province. Napakaswerte ko because you know eksakto na minsan yung mga nakabantay doon is yung mga professional ko na mga anak dyan sa Vargas, just like yung mga batch from since 2000 May, I think that is 2013 na nag-graduate namin hanggang 2017, that was the last graduation I attended. Actually, I think most of them, almost, sabihin ko siguro, 87% talaga na nakapasok na sa serbisyo yung iba. Some of them are just, syempre, yung mga matitigas ang ulo at binabaliwalang pag-aaral. Sila talaga yung walang future. Kaya nga sinasabi ko nowadays sa inyo that you have to do your effort as early as now because taking the board exam is not easy. Taking the board exam is you have to make it seriously. Next is the Bow Street Runner as we go on. Time of Henry Fielding naman po ito. Binibigay ko lang kasi yung what I call it. This is a type of review na lang. Para pag nagsulat kayo, sabi nga ni Sir Sumad, iba pa rin yung nagsusulat kayo. Nag-take down notes kayo. Gaya ko, it's my technique. Even though I'm watching, even though I'm listening to my teacher, I am still writing. Kasi yan yung alam ko nakikita kong magandang pamamaraan. Kahit pa ito traditional, magandang way yun. Kailangan i-adapt. What we call contemporary or these days. Diyan nag-simula the time of Bow Street Runner, the time of Henry Fielding, up until patrol and horse patrol, or what we call the mounted patrol. Kasi noon, sa mga panahon yan, they invade nila the pig. Kita mo naman talaga natin. Horse is green, most especially in India. Yeah, they call the mounted patrol. They use the horse. Tayo na yan, ha? Oh. It says that King Charles of England, alam din natin, no, na he passed a law in 163 that provided for the employment of a night watchman or bellman to be on duty from sunset to sunrise. So, inadapt nila yung curfew hour noon. And the Fielding, na. Bow Street Horse Patrol ang tawag or Bow Street Catchers ang manguhuli sa magnanakaw at meron silang separation ng mga tao nila or organized group of men na sa main road lang talaga mag-secure or travel. But nowadays, Oh, ang Bow Street Runners natin, police officer referring to the Bow Street Horse Patrol, travelers from highwaymen and highway bandits, they called as the Highway Patrol Group. Okay, there is the separations already. The British statesman, Sir Robert Peel, is in 1829 established the London Metropolitan Police, no? Which became the world's first modern organized police force and later called as the Scotland Yard because he is from Scotland. The development of the British police system is especially significant because the pattern that emerged is not only became a model of the American police system, but also had great influence on the style of policing in almost all industrial societies, wherein the father of the modern policing system. So siya ang father of modern policing system. Maalala ko lang about the father of criminology, father of the modern criminology, ganyan. Alam nyo, minsan kailangan nilang siyang i-identify, but I'm not saying sa board exam wala yan. I am saying na meron pa rin. But basta ang importante kasi when you do your notes or you review notes about this lesson, you have to identify the contributor and what is the contribution of that person behind. No, kung ano ba yung naging contribution niya. For example, si Robert Peel, considered the father of the modern policing system. Why? Ilagay mo dun sa baba niya because he became he became the world's first modern organized police force. Siya ang nag-implement ng London Metropolitan Police. As simple as that. Ganun lang yan. Now, the modern period of policing. Dito na tayo. Modern period of policing is the Metropolitan Police Act of 1829. It was modernized the police system of England, creation of a standard, and that is Robert Peel. So in France na tayo. Ito na ang mahirap. French. No? In French, naririnig pa ba ako?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, naiintindihan ba natin?
Dito, ma'am.
Okay lang. Okay lang. Sa akin, okay. Ang topic kasi talaga na, ang topic ko muna
Ma'am, choppy na, ma'am.
Ang paputol-putol po.
Yung alin?
Signal. Wala kang signal, mate.
Okay, once again, paghihintay natin si ma'am, ano?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Tonyo, makinig ka.
Okay. Naririnig pa ba ako? Nakapatay ba yung mic ko?
Yes, ma'am. Naririnig po, ma'am.
Just let me know if I am not stable, yung internet connection namin kasi kanina nag-brown out.
Ma'am, nawala po ma'am, pati yung screen ma'am.
Nawala ulit yung screen.
Yes, ma'am. Kanina pa po, ma'am. 2 minutes.
2 minutes. So wait. Oh my God. Ay, wala nga talaga. Oh my God.
Doon naman sa French mo.
Yan, nakikita na?
Yes, ma'am.
Pasensya na kayo. Ito ang hirap ng sinasabi nating adopting the new normal, no? Napakahirap talaga lalo ngayon.
Tayo sa French ma'am.
French po tayo. Okay, sige, I will go back. Wait lang ha.
Yes, ma'am.
Kusan. Oh, the prison. French pa lang tayo. Ayan. Ayan. Maliwanag na.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So in Italy, we call them the Carabinieri, and in Spanish, we call them the Guardia Civil. So dito na tayo sa United States. In Boston, 1636, they formed the first night watch, or they called them a leatherman. Okay? Halos pare-parehas, diba? Kung napapansin ninyo. In Philadelphia, 1833, instituted the first daytime paid police officer. Naku, may bayad na ng panahon ng 1833. They already paid the police service. Next is in New York, 1844, they organized the first modern American police force based on English Metropolitan Police. So as you can see in the United States, it was then the start, no? The start of paying the police officer in rendering their services in their country. Okay. The evolution of the police service in the Philippine setting. Dito na tayo. Carabineros de Seguridad Pública, or what we call the mounted police, in the time of Winchester. It was organized in 1712 for the purpose of carrying out the policies of the Spanish government. The members were armed and considered as the mounted police. And then, the Cuadrilleros. It was a body of rural police organized in each town that was created by the Royal Decree of January 8, 1936. This police force was composed of 5% of the able-bodied male inhabitants of each town or province. Each member should serve for at least 3 years. Also, as you can see and compare, that we also adopted the rules before, even in the time of anti-sanction, the modern policing, diba, the Winchester period. Tatlo po kami sa isang phone. Okay, so noted. You just inform Sir Sunod on, okay guys? So as you can see, we already adopted the way we implement. Kung noon, may edad, that 9 to 12, no, ngayon, 5% lang. Kung noon is at least typing men, di ba? Ang typing men, mag-form sila na siya. Ages 9 ba? Ages 12 rather. So magbubuo sila, that is called the typing men. Tayo naman, we are just considering the male inhabitants in every town, only 5% of the population of the town. And then, there is what we call limitations of service. At least 3 years lang. siguro kaya din natin na-adapt ang service period ng mga police, no? The early retirement at the age of 56 and the mandatory retirement at the age of 60. Tama ba ako? Let me just check. Guardia Civil. It is the police organization created by the royal decree issued by the Spanish Crown government on February 12, 1852. It relieved the Spanish peninsular troops of their works in policing towns. But nyo mapapansin nyo dito kasi sa Pilipinas, we are colonized by the Spanish and afterward is the American. So we already changed those policing system. We changed according to the one or the group of what we call mga banyaga na colonize sa atin. For the development of the policing system, yan po siya. First is the pre-Spanish, so policing is tribal in nature. Ibig sabihin, we follow the rules of Orville's, ganyan. In 1712 naman, lumabas ang Carabineros de Seguridad Publico. Ang tawag na natin nga doon is the Mounted Police. The Cuadrilleros is the Rural Police and the Guardia Civil is the Town Police or what we call the Urban Police. So we categorize them according to the classification of the community. If it is in the rural, then the Cuadrilleros. But if it is in the Guardia Civil, in the urban, then that is the Guardia Civil. And according to Organic Act number 175, Philippine Constabulary under Captain Henry T. Allen, he is the first chief of police. In the Philippine policing, Philippinization, Brigadier General Rafael Crami was the first Filipino chief of the Philippine Constabulary. PC wins is the Philippine Constabulary. Because you all know, guys, it was started Philippine Constabulary bago pa siya naging Philippine National Police. Tapos naging Insular Police Force, di ba? Naging PC2I Insular Police. Ganon, Insular Police. Then after ng Insular Police, then Philippine National Police. What were the significant developments concerning the police service during American occupation after the World War II broke up? So first is Insular Police Force. It was established on November 30, 1890 during the Filipino-American War upon the recommendation of the Philippine Commission of the Secretary of War. Insular Constabulary. It was created July 18, 1901, Virtue Act of 175, entitled Act Providing for the Organization and Government of Insular Constabulary. Then it was created, the Manila Police Department was organized July 31, 1901 by virtue of Act 1 number 183 of the Philippine Commission. The first chief of police was Captain George Curry. It was US because alam na natin, na-colonize pa lang tayo ng US. Officer appointed by the Taft Commission on August 7, 1901, Captain Columbus Piat was the last American COP of Manila Police Department before the World War II broke out. Colonel Antonio C. Torres is considered the first Filipino chief of police when Manila Police Department became an all-Filipino police organization. Kasi noong araw, ang Manila Police Department, yan nga siya, makikita ninyo, it was headed by George Curry. Okay? And the last American COP is in a person of Columbus Piat. But now in this, according to the history, it was first started that the first Filipino chief of police in Manila is year 1941 after the World War II. During the World War II, Manila Police Department was placed under the American control. Next is Colonel Marcus Ellis Jones. He is the U.S. Provost Marshal who was named as MPD COP or what we call the Manila Police Department Chief of Police just after the Manila Liberation. And then Colonel Lamberto Halavera is the first Filipino COP of MPD appointed by President Rojas under the Republican government. So, as you can see, we just only have the first Filipino appointed as the Chief of Police in the time of Rojas because we are under the Republican government. Parang nawawala ako.
Malinaw po, ma'am.
Ito yung important dates for you to remember. No? Ayan, nakasummarize na yan. Pero I will give you the notes later on. In year 1935, the PC personnel were absorbed by the Philippine Army. As you can see, no? Na-absorb pa tayo ng Philippine Army that time. In year 1936, just after 1 year, Commonwealth Act No. 88 created the State Police. 1938 Commonwealth Act of 343 reconstituted the Philippine Constabulary. PC became an independent national police force, and the Manila Police Department introduced the bicycle patrol. Oh, ngayon, uso yung bisikleta. Ito kaya gawin nila ngayon yun sa mga pulis. Ano? Pero sa Manila, they are using a bicycle patrol in Manila. As you can see in some town of the NCR, they are using the bicycle patrol. But here in the province, we are using the motorcycle or the what we call the automobile patrol. But it's the time. But in year 1939, it was really the first introduced of using bicycle patrol to police officers. Ito tayo sa different period na. Japanese occupation, the Japanese military police, or what we call the Kempeitai, took over the Manila Police Department. Naku, nung after ng American dumating si Japanese. And then in the liberation period, 1945, the Manila Police Department was reconstituted and placed under American control in the person of Colonel Marcus Ellis Jones and became the chief of the police of the Manila Police Department. Next. What are those, of course? When you are a criminologist, you have to know the legal basis, how it came up. Bakit they consider that Police Act of 1996 is the creation of the Police Commission, or what we call the Polcom? It is just because of the Republic Act 3864, signed August 1966. So that is the time we created the Polcom, or what we call Police Commission. And then after that, in year 1975, the Presidential Decree 765, no, the integration of the National Police, the PC, to PCINT became the nucleus of a united police force in the country. So meron na tayo niyan. Then in year 1990, so ang history niyan, ang etymology ng police ng PNP is from Polcom to PCINT to PNP. No? But ang mga batas na sinunod natin dyan is RA 6975 that is civilian in character but national in scope according to the Constitution. But the latest, as we can see, no, that is in year 1998, that is following the rule of RA 8551, the PNP Reform and Reorganization Act, dubbed as the PNP Professionalization. In this rule, as we can see, there is what we call, they have to uplift, no, at all aspects ang mga PNP natin. So we go to the concept. Part 2 is concept on police organization. Any question muna pala, guys. Mahaba-haba ito, ibibigay ko sa inyo. Any question? Can I continue now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Sino na ba sa inyo sa policing organization, management, and administration? So, when we say interpersonal roles, sabi ko nga sa inyo, we adopted the RA 8551 or the PNP Reformation or Professionalization. Because here, it is the time for us to be more effective and more efficient in work. Pagka police officer ka, kailangan kasi productivity mo mataas. Kasi pag sinabi natin productivity, it only means that the summary of measures of quantity and quality of police work performance achieved with resources utilization considered. So, when for you to be more effective and more efficient, then they have what we call you have to manage your activities and roles. So these are the police managerial activities and roles. So I classified it by three. So we have the interpersonal roles, working directly with other people. Pag sinabi kasi natin interpersonal, we are acting with other people. Pag intrapersonal, we are just acting to ourselves. Solo mo lang. Pag we say interpersonal role, yung role mo sa ibang tao. So you are working directly with other people. First is figurehead. You are hosting and attending official ceremonies. Kaya nakikita ninyo ang mga police officer, they are attending, right? From the different, for example, they have a program connected to the Department of Education. Or kailangan talaga, they are the one who attend or hosting. Kaya naman, graduation of the PNP graduates or what we call the celebration inside the office or the PNP office. Christmas program. So, hosting, attending, kasama yan. Ang tawag po dyan is figurehead. Next is leadership. Creating is enthusiasm and serving people's needs. Paano ba natin papakita daw ang interpersonal role natin? So, pag sinabing leadership, you lead. You have to create. You lead with other people to be enthusiastic. Enthusiastic ka dapat. Liaison, utusan. Utusan din tayo minsan. Maintaining contacts with important people and groups. Kumbaga, liaison tayo. For example, sa isang division. Ano ba ang may... Okay. Within the organization of PNP, may mga liaison tayo. Maintaining contacts with important people and groups. For example, the investigation group. Connect niya or liaison niya si woman desk kasi papasa niya yan for them to investigate niya yan. Kaya the woman desk itself, silang mag-investigate for sensitive cases. Next is informational roles. Ano ba yun? Paano ba daw tayo mag-inform? No. When you are a police officer in informational roles, exchange information with other people. As you can still remember, tapos yun na ba ang intel ninyo? So, merong classification ng mga files, may classification ng data, ganyan, A1, ganyan. So here, when you say monitor, you are seeking out relevant information. When you are just disseminator, ikaw mag-disseminate, or you are the one to give information with insiders. No, it is just like at this moment, isipin na lang natin, ako si disseminator, I am sharing information to the group. Spokesperson, sharing information with outsiders. Pag naging ang role mo ay tinawag kang speaker sa isang event, you are the spokesperson. But when you are speaking in behalf of the PNP inside also with your organization, and you are considered the disseminator. Remember that. Next is decisional rules. This is the time you have to make decisions that affects other people. No? Nagiging entrepreneur tayo minsan, di ba? Why? We are seeking two problems that we have to solve and opportunities to explore. Next is disturbance handler, helping to resolve conflict. Diba hanggat maaari when someone go to your office, tayong mga, for example, yung mga police, they are trying to resolve conflicts, hindi na yung papaabutin sa kaso-kaso kasi lalong tumatagal yung lalo pang tatagal at burden pa yan sa part ng mga police sometimes. So, para to lessen cases, ganyan, they have to resolve conflicts. Resource allocator o allocating resources to various uses. Yan, function na ng kunwari, investigator. O kaya may binigay sa'yo na information, you have to allocate it, you have to locate it, the resources, diba? For you to be able later on to use it for important matters. Then, last is negotiator, negotiating with other parties. Ginagawa ng mga kapulisan natin yan, especially kapag nagkaroon ng conflict. Mostly, tawag sa mga yan, ginagamit na natin yung negotiators na yan sa mga mag-hostage taking, ganyan. So, they are negotiating with other parties for them to be able to perform good, ganyan. And para masalba yung buhay ng isang tao, a negotiator must be a good negotiator. Okay. Of course, we have the traditional and contemporary foundation of police organization and management. Pag sinabi nating the classical approach, we are in the traditional, and when we say neoclassical, we are in the contemporary or the latest one. Okay. The classical approach, we have the three primary areas. We have the scientific, the bureaucratic management, and the administrative management. I will just give you first is the scientific management. That is according to Frederick Taylor of year 1856 to 1915. It is a scientific management sought to discover the best method of performing specific tasks. Based on his studies, Taylor believed that if workers were taught the best procedures with pay tied to output, they would produce the maximum amount of work. With respect to this philosophy, the role of the management changed abruptly from the earlier use of the role of the camp to a more scientific approach, including scientifically selecting, training, and developing workers, and ensuring that all work would be done in accordance with scientific principle. Plus, scientific management is strongly adhered to formal organization structure and rules. So naniniwala daw siya that when the people around you, you give the best, best taught by the best procedure, or example na lang yan kapag you are in the training ground na. Siyempre, when you are in the training ground, when they teach you the correct and legal procedures, then of course, you will produce the maximum amount of work. So naniniwala lang naman siya na rule of thumb. Ibig sabihin, parang simply saying that there is what we call thumbs up ka kapag ka talagang lahat ng procedures is naibigay daw sa tao at magawa niya yung thumbs up. No? Basta you have to follow scientific principles and ethics. So, wait lang, bakit magpabilis? Next, it's the bureaucratic management. Ito lang naman is, okay, andito po. The concept of bureaucracy is generally associated with the work of Max Weber, who was the major contributor of modern sociology. No. He studied the effects in Europe at the end of 19th century and coined the term bureaucracy to identify the complex organizations that operated on a rational basis. It is a kind of management wherein he believed that such an approach, which means lessening the cruelty, nepotism, and subjective managerial practices common in early stages of the Industrial Revolution. Because I do believe also on that. But in the Philippine National Police, I'm not talking about really, siguro not lahat naman. Pero napapansin mo, when you are even asking your cousin who is a police officer, di ba mo minsan, nagkakaroon ng cruelty talaga sa management. Parang nade-demoral na sila. The way na magsalita ang boss nila, ganyan. Naniniwala kasi pag sinabing bureaucratic management, pagka hindi mo daw siya pinahiya, or no to cruelty, a form of rule ng isang head, mas maganda yung trabaho ng tao mo. Diba? It was then true. The same as true doon sa una na scientific method by management na they are following the rules. And when you follow the rules, naniniwala siya sa management na when you follow the rules, it is a good effect on the organization. So meron tayong sinasabi na characteristic of bureaucratic. So andyan na siya, nakikita nyo, division of labor based on a specified sphere of competence. Actually, it is good to identify tubig. Division of labor based on a specified sphere of competence. As you can see, kailangan kasi our expertise is, the given task is always our expertise sana. That is one characteristic of bureaucratic organization. Next is hierarchy of authority. When its lower office is under the control and supervision of the higher one. We all know that. The hierarchy of authority, from the word hierarchy, from top to bottom. Excuse me. isa pa. Hierarchy of authority from the word hierarchy, from top to bottom yan. So, kung ikaw ang nasa mababa, and you have your superior daw, you have to follow it. That is one concept or characteristic of bureaucratic. Next is a specified set of rules applied uniformly throughout the organization. It simply means that walang kamag-anak, walang favoritism sa isang organization. Pero naniniwala ba kayo nowadays na wala yan?
Hindi, ma'am.
Hindi ba? Totoo, sabi mo, hindi talaga mawawala. Kahit nga sa klase, di ba? Sa classroom na lang. Yung teacher ninyo, may favorite na estudyante, di ba? O kaya meron yung teacher, lagi na lang yung kinakainisan yung estudyante. Di ba? Sometimes like that. Ganun din naman sa organization. Pero ang sabi, ang isang characteristic ng bureaucratic to make it good management in the organization, you must specify sets of rules. Kapag sinabi mo na the time will be pag sinabi mo that walang malilate sa organization, a simple set of rules lang muna tayo, ha? And you have to apply it to all. Ibig sabihin, wala kang kinikilanlan. Pag sinabi mong ganito ang rule mo, ganun ang i-implement mo. Okay? Next, maintenance of interpersonal relationships because rational decision can only be made objectively and without emotions. Yan ang lagi nang tatandaan when you go on through and you become a successful one. You have to control your emotions. You have to consider your interpersonal relationships to be good. No? You have to make decisions na it is always legal. You don't only be made objectively or because you have a mixed emotions of anger and then kaya mo siya, hindi na nito, ganito ang rule mo sa kanya. No. Sabi ko nga, in the bureaucratic organization, one character must be, you have to avoid what we call favoritism and you should be equal to all. When you set rule, when you set that order, it should be equal to all. No matter relationship you have, no matter emotions that you have to control it. Next is selection and promotion based on competence, not on irrelevant considerations. Okay, eto talaga ngayon. Ang masakit isipin na talagang ito ay katotohanan na. At times, mapifeel nyo rin yan. Na-feel nyo na rin ba? Ako na-feel pa na yan. Parang, meron kasi yung time na, I have all the competence to apply on that position, but what happened? What I am not the one who choose. I have chosen. But kaya hindi ako yung nakuha. Why do that person? Wala naman ako nakikita. O kaya naman, in a group of police organization na, bakit nauna ko siyang mag-promote kaysa sa akin? I do believe that I'm competent to that position or promotion. But in the bureaucratic organization daw, kailangan you have to promote that person basically on his competence. Kailangan all the minimum requirements for him to be promoted. Then you give, di ba? Ganun ang kanyang sinasabi. No? Dito sa bureaucratic. Como siguro si COP, kunwari si COP, ikat na siyang mga tauhan na gustong mag-apply for promotion. Dahil yung isa hindi sip-sip sa kanya at alam niya maraming chicks si COP, ayun lang ipopromote. Ayan yung sinasabi ko, not on irrelevant consideration. They must be, the promotion must be given based on the competence of that person applying for. Naintindihan ba natin?
Yes, ma'am.
Next is the administrative management. So, when it comes to administration naman na tayo. So, it emphasizes broad administrative principle applicable to higher levels within the organization. That is, according to Henry Fayol, its most influential work is industrial and general management. The 14th principle of efficient management was identified. Ayan po. Una daw, division of work. Pagdating naman sa administration daw, ang kailangan na natin gawin, meron tayong labing-apat na principles. Una, the division of work. It is the work specialization can increase efficiency, rather, with the same amount of effort. When we divide the work, we have to define the work equally. But of course, when you are the boss, you have to consider the field of specialization of that person carrying the same amount of effort. Hindi naman pwede sa isang organisasyon na, o sige, ikaw na lang lagi nag-duty, ikaw na lang lagi naka-assign sa ganitong division. Wherein, hindi naman kayo parehas sa ibinigay, hindi mo naman pinarehas sa binigay sa isang officer mo. For example, si Police Officer 1. Sige, ito ka na lang, 24, what we call duty. Duty ka. Post duty mo. Tapos yung isa naman, o dun sa investigation for the whole time. O duty niya rin yun. So, dapat talaga, pag nagbigay ka ng division of work, same amount yung effort. No? Same amount. Equal lang. Next is authority and responsibility. The authority includes the right to command and the power to require obedience. One cannot have authority without responsibility. That's true. The authority is attached with responsibility. It simply says that the higher the position you have, the higher responsibility. But given the authority, is you have the license or you have the right to give orders. You have the power to give orders. But not only having that position, not only having that authority, but you have to attach responsibles. There is an attached responsibles. Okay. Next is discipline. Of course, discipline is necessary. It was very much what we call very important for an organization. For what reason? To function effectively. However, the state of disciplinary process depends on the quality of its leader. Pero ito ang tatandaan yun. Regardless, whatever quality of that leader, you have to make sure that you have your self-discipline. No matter, for example, when you are soon a police officer, pag nakita mo, sige, ganito, relax. Ganito, hindi nag-uniform. Kahit akala mag-uniform yan. Kapag ganito, ganyan, iinom na ganito. You have to make sure that whatever you see and whatever leader you have later, soon, when you are a police officer, and you make up a self-discipline until now. Kahit ngayon, estudyante pa lang kayo, you make your self-discipline. No? Self-discipline is good enough in whatever circumstances. Whatever places you go, you have your self-discipline, and it is good. You can acquire respect from others if you have your self-discipline. I will tell you. Next is unity of command. Unity of command, one superior only. Kung lahat sila magbibigay ng, kung imagining that in the administration, kahit pinakamababang position na magbibigay sa'yo ng order, alam mo pa ba ang susundin mo yung uunahin. So, pag sinabi niya dito sa administrative management, kailangan daw talaga we have our what we call unity of command. There is only one superior. Next, unity of direction. Yan. There should be one manager and one plan for a group or of activities that have the same objective. It must be clear for you to direct your people or your police officer. No? A unity of direction. Hindi yung sinabi mo kanina, babawiin mo, mag-iiba ka, so magkakagulo-gulo yung tao mo. Subordination of individual interest to general interest. The interest of one employer or group of employees should not take precedence over those of the organization as a whole. Subordination tayo. Ibig sabihin, set aside your individual interest. No, to the general interest. Example, the interest of one employee to other group, tapos you over parang precedence over those the organization as a whole, parang mas priority mo na yung sa'yo lang, no, without consideration what will be the impact on the organization. Next is remuneration of personnel. Compensation should be fair to both the employee and the employer. Kailangan din naman kasi natin na, uy, very good job. Diba? Kailangan din ng mga ganun ng mga police officer. Hindi naman kailangan na o kaya sa administrasyon na may nagawa na nga ng maganda, hindi pa napapansin or cannot be acknowledged, then mawawalan kasi tayo minsan ng gana, di ba? Even in a class, assuming that in a class, we are in a class, di ba, na nabubuhos tayo. Pagka nasasabihan tayo, oh, sumagot ka, din sasabihin sa'yo ng teacher mo, well, very good. That is what we call nice idea. Di ba parang you are what we call nabuboost ka para pa matuto mag-aral ng maayos, di ba? Nakakaboost kayo ng confident yun. Then next is centralization. The proper amount of centralization depends on the situation. The objective is to pursue the optimum utilization of capabilities of personnel. Ito, sa administrasyon daw, kailangan talaga nito. Parang what we call it is the same with the division of work, pero yung utilization ng capability ng personnel mo, alamin mo. O, si ganito, magaling siya magsalita sa harapan. Kunwari, gagawa kayo ng program at if the PNP is head, you are connected or what we call, you are invited rather to a program. So, hatiin natin, ganito, ganyan. Kitain, or you have to see the competency or the what we call the skill of your personnel, mas especially for you to utilize para walang masasayang. Ganito, ganyan. Ikaw dito ka magaling. O ikaw naman, Mr. C, dito ka. So ikaw ito, magaling ka, forte na yan. Pero kailangan, the utilization is in balance. Scalar chain. The hierarchy of authority is the order of ranks from highest to lowest. Scalar chain is just knowing the unity of command. Kasi in the scalar chain, you have to know your boss, the highest boss, to the second level of higher, ganyan, the higher. Kumbaga parang top to bottom siya eh. Parang kung asan ka, if you are in the position of the lower position, then you have to see your subordinates. No? You have to follow them. Next is number 10, the order. Materials and human resources should be in the right place at the right time. Individuals should be in the jobs or position that suits them. Simply like that. When you have that kind of principle, it is good. Why? Because you already know kung paano baka suit in yung tao na yon para ibigay mo yan na ito gawin mo. Next is equity or what we call equality. No? Employees should be treated with kindness and justice. Equity ang tawag din. Yung principle of equity. Next is stability of personal tenure. Stability of personal tenure, an employee needs time to adjust to a new job and reach a point of satisfactory performance. High turnover should be avoided. So ito, for example, kapapasok na pa lang sa isang trabaho o dyan sa PNP na lang, basta PNP na tayo, you have to make you have to give ample time for him to adjust or what we call to adapt the environment and that organization. Kasi just like you later on after your training, you go back, you go to your what we call stations assigned. Siyempre, yung culture doon, hindi mo agad na adapt. Kailangan talaga, they give you enough time to adjust. Kailangan mong i-adjust, bigyan siya ng oras na i-adjust yung sarili niya, i-follow mo yung rules and regulations o pamamalakad ng station na yon. And then so that he will be on the point of satisfactory performer. Magiging satisfaction na siya. Magkakaroon ng satisfaction sa kanyang performance of duty. Naniniwala ako doon kasi ganun din ako eh. Galing ako sa college instructor. Tapos bigla akong napunta sa administrative assistant ko na mag-liquidate ng kaperahan. So, kailangan, magkaroon ako na, yung boss ko, in-assist niya ako. I will give you this kind of lecture. Ganito ang gagawin mo, ganito, ganyan. So, ako, nagkaroon ng ample time na masundan kung ano talaga ang kalakaran ng isang administrative assistant too. Then after that, Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Liwanag ka ba?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Ngayon,
Yes, ma'am.
with, kailangan, so na-adapt ko na yung pagiging administrative assistant ko na ganito lang palang gagawin. Then after taking my board exam in LPT, bigla akong nag-apply ng teaching. So na-culture shock na naman ako. Ganito ba lang gawain ng isang teacher ng DepEd? Diba? It is not the same with the culture of college. Kasi alam nyo ng college, when you are a college instructor, you are just a facilitator. Diba? Actually, I am not discussing purely in my class, but most of them, they are the one to report, they are the one to conduct the recitation. Ganyan ako ng college, they are the facilitator. Hindi ako magsasalita, ako ang nagsisilbing estudyante. Babalik ka rin ko yung mundo. Pero sa DepEd kasi, oh my God, that is what we call school feeding ang nangyayari. Na isusubo mo sa kanila lahat. Alam mo yun, yung prinsipyo ng DepEd. But I am not saying that is bad. But I think no? So, kaya para maging satisfaction ng performance ko as a teacher, so I have to adapt the rules bind by the DepEd. So, wala. Yun yung ibig sabihin ng stability of personal tenure. Third is sa tiyo. O ito ang madalang minsan sa ibang tao. The ability to conceive and execute a plan without, there is what we call true initiative and freedom. Freedom should be encouraged and developed throughout all levels of organizations. O, all levels na. Initiative. Yan ang dapat na wag niyong walain. Pag kayo naging police officer, you have to take this principle and to be initiative. Yung hindi yung dadagukan ka muna o para kang magiging darjay pait nga no handa po pupuntot na mo amon ka arami gumon. Not that way. But instead, you make sure that you have your freedom na, gagawin ko to. I took this initiative. Gagawin ko to kasi alam kong tama o wala pa yung boss ko, wala pa yung assigned duty dito. So, ang initiative mo, mag-duty na lang muna ako. Ganon. I can help. Next, state the text. Sabi nilang unity in strength, harmony, and teamwork are essential to effective organization or what we call simply call a union. There is a unity in a group. Naka-off my mic.
Maxwell, pag-off mic.
So, naintindihan ba natin? So, that are the 14 principles, no? The 14 principles, I just repeat, the division of work, authority and responsibility, discipline, unity of command, unity of direction, subordination of individual interest to general interest, remuneration of personnel, centralization, escalade chain, order, equity, stability of personal tenure, initiative, and spirit records, or what we call the unity. You know, class in taking the board exam, sometimes ito rin lumalabas, no? Nakakapulong mga definition. Kasi for me, you don't have to memorize the definition. You have to adapt, or you have to identify really the comparison and the different terms later on, no? Okay. Organization group formal, we have here the formal, which is structured, and the informal is not structured. Regardless of that, the administration, following the process of force reform and the management is resources is the 5 M's. So ito, the police or organization group of trained personnel in the field of public safety, administration engaged in the achievement of goals and objectives that promotes the maintenance of peace and order, protection of life and property. That is police organization and enforcement of laws and prevention of crime. So we have here the line type of duty. It shows channel of authority of the responsibility extending the direct line from top to bottom. So we have here the simplest type. It is called the military type. No? So kung yung makikita ninyo, next is Functional type. O, ang functional type daw is responsibility of each function manager, limited to the particular activity over which he has control regardless of who performs the function. Kaya makikita nyo in the PNP, meron tayong per division. Yan yung sinasabi natin functional type. This is division of investigation, division of what we call, ano po bang mga division yon? PCR, ganyan. So, that is what we call functional type organization. May mga heads yan every. Then now is the combination of line and functional. A combination of line and functional types is the channel of responsibilities to think and provide expertise for the line units. Under na yan. So, ito yung function, yan. Nakikita nyo, gumagalaw. Yan yung function. Ito na yung kanyang line units. Okay. Ito tayo. Police management. Now we are in the police board. Was the board, no? The pioneer there is Ludwig and Orwig in year 1920 and 1937. He is the science of administration. He is the one who acronym was the corp have described the major functions of administration. Lumalabas sa board exam yan noon. Yung nawawala, yung first corp na yan. First, planning. Working out in broad outline the things that need to be done and the methods for doing them to accomplish the purpose set for the enterprise. It simply says that you have to plan. Organizing. After planning, you organize. Establishment of the formal structure of authority through which work subdivision are arranged, defined, and coordinated for the defined objective. After planning and organizing, staffing. Yan na yung sinasabi ko sa inyo in the, what we call, dito sa may stability of personal tenure, no? And even the remuneration of personnel. Be fair. Be fair in staffing. This is the time where personnel function of bringing in and out training the staff and maintaining the staff with available conditions of work, filling the organization with the right people and right position. Equity. So, na-adapt natin dito yung principle of equity in staffing. Next is directing. It is the task of making decisions and embodying them in specific and general orders and instructions and serving as the leader of the enterprise. So, directing, you are the director, you are the boss. You will be the one to make decision. You are the one to give the general orders and instructions to your subordinates. Coordinating is all important duty of interrelating the various parts of the work. Coordination, for example, or in the field of police office, the different division coordinates with the other division, right? Reporting. Next is reporting, is keeping those to whom the executive is responsible informed as to what is going on, which does includes keeping himself and his subordinates informed through record research and inspection. After planning, after organizing your staff, nagagawin, dinadirect mo at nakikoordinate sa'yo, after the awards, you have to report what was happened, what went well. And last is budgeting. With all the goals of budgeting in form of fiscal planning, accounting, and control, kailangan naman kasi talaga is to have a budget. Yan. In short, ang first record, pag sinabing plan and setting performance objective, pag sinabing organizing, you are dividing the work to be done. Simply saying na ito ang first record. Staffing is filling the organization with the right people with right position. Directing is making decisions. In coordinating is interrelating various parts of work, coordinating with other groups. Reporting, keeping executives informed, and budgeting is fiscal planning, accounting, and control. So what is what we call approaches in managing police organization? So yan siya. As you can see, focus. Pag sinabing scientific management, as we go kanina, it focuses on workers' productivity. Naniniwala siya na kailangan sa scientific management for you to become more professional, for you to uplift your personal, what we call, um, personal development, what we call that. You have to be, apply for trainings for that the workers will be productive. Set trainings, what we call, seminars, ganyan. Sa bureaucratic naman ang sabi, they focus on the division of labor and hierarchy of authority. Yan yung, and administrative management is management principles. So nakita niyo yung 14 na principles. Dito sa bureaucratic, huwag niyong kakalimutan na ang nagpo-focus siya sa division of labor and hierarchy of authority. Ha? Huwag niyong kakalimutan na they have to consider the boss from top to bottom and then the division of work or labor of work na ibibigay sa every position. Nagmula sa mababa hanggang sa pinakamataas na position. Next is, we will be going to the human relation approach. Ano ba? It is in consideration of Elton Mayo that they have the increased productivity. The behavioral science approach is hierarchy of needs and authority. Yeah, I will give you an explanation on the human relation approach muna tayo. Dito kasi kay Elton Mayo, the experiment contradicted the traditional view of management emphasized by the classical theories and led the behavioral approach emphasizing concern for the workers. Ibig sabihin, dito, so the level of production is set by norms, not by physiological capacities. Kailangan meron dito sa Elton Mayo para magkaroon ng increase of productivity daw. They must be production of set of norms. Contemporary naman. Tayo. Kita nyo? And pangalawa, sinasabi, non-economic reward and sanctions significantly affect the behavior of the workers and largely limit the effect of economic incentive plans. Huwag daw tayong mahilig na magbigay lagi in the human relations. Diba minsan kasi meron na lang yung mga empleyado natin na nasasanay na just because there is an incentive, then yun na, gagalaw pa. But here, kailangan daw, we have to limit the effect of economic incentive plans. No? Last but not the least, often workers do not act or react as individual but member as a group. Ibig sabihin, there is what you call, you have your individual work, but you have to work as a group. Gets mo yun? Alam niyo yung gano'n. So, behavioral science approach naman, sabi, here is the contribution of Maslow. He dealt with the human behavior, the hierarchy of needs. He studied the subject matter in scientific matter. No? So we have here also hierarchy of needs theory. It is Maslow. And next is D. Mark Gregor, or the X and Y. Simply saying, the X is the lazy one and Y is the hard worker. Listen, the theory X assumptions. Ang theory X assumptions kasi, phrase is the average person inherently dislikes work and will try to avoid it. Yan yung mga klase ng mga theory X. Na meron daw yung talagang mga tao na ayaw sa trabaho, ayaw magtrabaho, at hanggat maaari, umiiwas sa trabaho. Ano pa? Ang theory X assumptions. Pangalawa, most people must be coerced control, directed, and threatened with punishment to get them to work towards organizational goals. Sa isang organisasyon, hindi yan mawawala. Meron pa yung kahit sa klase, example, sa klase natin, we have to threaten you first, di ba? Dini-threaten muna namin kayo, I will make you fail. Pag hindi ka nagbasa or hindi ka nag-recite or hindi ka nag-ganito, may pasa ang exam. Ganun kasi ang Curie X. No? Most people was controlled by because of there is an attached punishment. Next, the average person referred Excuse me. The average person prefers to be directed, wants to avoid responsibility, has relatively little ambition, and seeks security above all. Meron talaga yung mga klase ng tao na under sa Curie X. Diba? Sino ba sa inyo ang nasa Curie X ni McGregor? Behavioral science approach tayo. Huwag kayong maging ganyan sa trabaho later on. The Curie Y assumptions is that in contrary of Curie X, of course. No? The Curie X kasi have, in summary, the Curie X is assume that people have little ambition, dislike work, and must be coerced in order to perform satisfactorily. While Curie Y, these are the assumptions. Listen. Work, whether physical or mental, is natural as play as or rest, and most people do not inherently dislike it. Second, external control and threat of punishment are not the only means of bringing about effort toward organizational goals, but instead, people will exercise self-direction and self-control when they are committed to work. Next, commitment to goals is function of the rewards made available. An average person learns under proper condition not only to accept but to seek responsibility. Sila pa yung maghahanap ng kung ano yung gagawin. Not they are only accepting but they are just finding what to do so. No? Ability to exercise high degree of creativity in the solution of problems. So, they are making other remedy instead of staying on that problem, not solving the problem, but instead, they are the one who are making solutions or making other solutions so that the problem was easily solved. So, in short, the Curie Y assumes that people do not inherently dislike work and if properly rewarded, especially satisfying esteem and self-actualization needs will perform well on the job. So in short, the X is the lazy one and the Y is the hard worker. So yan yung sinasabing behavioral science approach ni Mark Gregor, the theory of X and Y. Pero ang theory ng human, nagiging tao when the X meets Y. Tama ba? Next is the contemporary approach. Sa contemporary approach daw, ibig sabihin, looking at the organization as a system or recognizing the internal and external variables affecting organization or contingency theory. Sa contemporary approach, it is the latest approach, no? Contemporary is or what we call under the classical approach. That you must what we call this kind of approach is used to guide and develop managerial policies and practices. It was just guided, utilizing the foundation for testing and developing these theories. No? Next is importance to why do we have to know the importance of these approaches and importance of to the police manager. Simply, when you adapt kasi yan, simply no, the police manager who believe in Curie X will set up strict controls and attempt to motivate workers strictly through economic incentives. Wherein, when we have this theory of X and Y, ang gagawin mong manager, police manager, or head, employees are most likely to respond to immature manner that reinforces the manager assumption. So by contrast, police manager who believe in truly why will treat employees in mature way by minimizing controls, encouraging creativity and innovation, and attempt to make work more satisfying high order needs. So kapag daw ikaw si police manager at itong mga tao mo, kasi hindi naman pwede lahat ng tao mo is why lahat, di ba? Under sa Churi why assumptions. Pag sinabing nasa Churi X assumptions yung mga tao mo, so you will be setting an strict compliance and controls to those people. And when you are when your people is under the Churi why, so you have to make what we call, you treat your employees with maturity. And there is what we call encouraging them to be more creative and innovative para magkaroon ng satisfying high performance ang iyong mga tao. So, it is concluded that managerial systems should shift to Churi-why assumptions. These Churi help managers to develop broader perspective on workers and work environment, especially regarding alternative ways of interacting with police officers and of recognizing the potential impact of higher level needs for job performance. So of course, we have is what we call the motivation of the police force. Why do we need to motivate the police force? No? Because in the police organization are replete with stories of organizational reconstructing and re-engineering. Take note that we are under the 8551, wherein that is the PNP professionalization, and wherein the PNP must be what we call on a higher level of professional, or what we call professionalism. As a common trend in these stories, the retrenchment of right sizing in the police parlance, what we call attribution, as sometimes called. The direct outcome in the employees are expected to do more with less, and creation of the atmosphere of uncertainty. So, the individual willingness to perform is directly related to the needs, expectation, and values held by the individual, and their link to the incentives or aspiration presented by the organizational reward system. So, for them to motivate, meron tayong mga the police and the police force, there is what we call the motivation for them to perform well. No? First here is the Maslow hierarchy of needs theory. Ina-adapt pa rin natin yan, no, sa organizational management. Maslow hierarchy of needs is well known. Abraham Maslow has suggested that human needs form a hierarchy from the most basic biological requirement to the needs of self-actualization that is considered to be the highest of all needs. It is a pyramid structure of human needs from the bottom to top of the hierarchy. The levels of needs that motive according to Maslow are the following. First, in the Maslow hierarchy of needs kasi, how can, what you call, many motives kasi might guide a person's behavior, di ba? What determines which one will? So Abraham Maslow has given a perspective of addressing, or that addresses this question that bases classes of needs or motives, so influencing the human behavior. Naniniwala ba kayo doon? That motives daw, motivation, influence our human behavior. So these are organized in a hierarchy needs of hierarchy needs. First is the biological and physiological needs. These motives include the needs for food, water, oxygen, activity, and sleep. Oh my God, this is what I need. This is what I need last, because starting from Monday, my routine from Monday to Friday, checking the answer sheets, checking, retrieving the modules, recording the scores of those students. Then after that Friday, Saturday, I have my master's class in St. Paul. I have to finish my master's in criminology at the thesis ko na kasi. And then Sunday, time for you to conduct the lecture. So, this is what I need, the biological and physiological needs, no? I need to sleep. Sorry, just joke. Safety needs next is pertain to motives of being cared for and being secured, such as income and place to live. O tingnan nyo, in the hierarchy of needs ni Maslow, talagang kinonsider niya yung being secured, such in income. Diba? Kaya nga talaga ako, I was then porsigido. When it comes to security of tenure, no? Tenure security is talagang you go to the government entity para talagang you have to provide the needs of your family, your responsibilities as a wife, as a mother, and as a daughter. So, kailangan talaga safety needs considered such as income and place to live. Hindi lang yung trabaho ng trabaho, kailangan there is a safety also in the place or in the workplace. Next daw is naniniwala siya that it belongs to love and belongingness. Belongingness is the integration into various kinds of social groups or social organization, and love means need for affection. Sino bang hindi nangangailangan ng love sa inyo ngayon?
Wala, ma'am.
Wala. Kailangan talaga natin ng love. Wala? Meron na, no? Meron na ba? So, we have, pag sinabi natin, kasi nawawala ang love, no? Naniniwala ba kayo dyan?
Wala ang love, ma'am.
God, ma'am, meron.
Oh, wow, that's good.
Love of God, ma'am, meron.
Undeniably true. No, that love to God is the number one. No? Ibig sabihin, not only love for affection, but love for God is the best. So we are not aiming for love for affection of people, but of course, the love of God. So, and belongingness, pag sinabi natin belongingness, yung you feel parang you are with them. No? Kailangan natin minsan din ng ganun. Lalo sa isang trabaho, we have to make sure that we belong. Kasi mahirap mag-work sa isang lugar o sa isang posisyon na meron ka kung you don't feel the belongingness of your group. Pangit yun. So he believed, no, in the motivation theories that love and belongingness is one factor. Then next is cognitive needs, or motivation for learning and exploration. Ayan, pag meron after kayo makatapos ng pag-aaral at makatrabaho kayo, you continue learning. You enroll to your low subjects, you enroll to your masteral for your learning. You don't stop learning. No? So in cognitive needs, we have to motivate for learning and exploration. Skill needs, our motivation for an honest, fundamental respect for a person as a useful and honorable human being. And don't forget that you have to respect yourself first, so others will respect you. So you must be honest, motivated with honesty. Aesthetic needs, our motivation for beauty and order. Pag sinabi kasi natin aesthetics, it is the study of art. No, art that you have to study the art of beauty, heart, physical, and order. Self-actualization is pertains to human's total satisfaction. Maraming ganito. Maraming nangangailangan nito. No? And people are motivated not so much by unmet needs as by the desire to become all they are capable of, but because self-realization. Pero minsan kasi, aminado tayo that we are what we call walang katapusang satisfaction ang hinahanap natin, di ba? So, sa work daw, kailangan magkaroon ng self-actualization and self-realization. So, in short, at the hierarchy of needs is also considered in the police system. Totoo naman, no? Karapatan din ng mga nasa servisyo na magpahinga, karapatan din nila na magkaroon ng safe na environment, no? At the same time with the right income, no? Talaga namang what we call justifiable na ang kanilang salary, no? Tumaas na rin. So, next is Alderfer's ERG theory. Clayton Alderfer has developed, next tayo ha, Alderfer's ERG theory. Clayton Alderfer has developed the ERG theory, which is modification of the Maslow theory. No, ERG theory categorized into existence, relatedness, and growth needs. On the other side, it says that existence needs the desire for physiological and material well-being. It is looking on the what we call the outside, no, ang pangangailangan. Relatedness is the desire for satisfying interpersonal relationship. So ito naman, nakafocus daw siya on how we satisfy yung ating, our desire to satisfy the other person or our interpersonal relationship to other. For example, when you are assigned as a PCR or police community relation, we have to decide this kind of need, relatedness, needs, adopting the Alderfer's ERG theory. Why? We have to satisfy the people around us. For what reason? Because later on, sila rin ang tutulong sa atin. No? Growth needs are desire for continued personal growth and development. Ito naman, ang katumbas na kay Maslow, it's the cognitive needs. No? We have to desire for continued personal growth and development. It is true. They must have to adopt this kind of theory in the PNP professionalization because you have to what we call uplift your personal growth, your professionalism, so that you will perform your duty on the highest or what we call outstanding performance. Diba? When you continue personal growth, when you apply yourself to enter to study, you have to attend seminars and workshops. Kasi it can help more learnings, more personal growth, ibig sabihin more satisfaction to work. Next is McClellan's acquired needs theory. McClellan's view is this three needs are acquired over time as a result of life experiences. So people are motivated by these needs, each of which can be associated with individual work preferences. So number one here is need for achievement, the desire to do something better or more efficient, solve problems or to master complex tasks. So, ganyan tayo, di ba, students, na kapag we are having the task, kailangan talaga more have to efficient. Kailangan kaya kong solve itong mga problema ko. Na kailangan nagiging, pag sinabing master complex task is even though what we call maraming burden or what we call maraming binibigay na mga loads or mga gawain natin, we have to be on the point of achieve natin yon na maganda. So, ano ba natin gagawin yun? So, you have to do so na kailangan I have to plan, I must be organized, and I have to focus to finish this one. So, that is the need for achievement. Next is need for affiliation. This is the desire to establish and maintain friendly and warm relations with others. So, I am referring to sa theory ni Alderfer, it is what we call the relatedness needs. No, the relatedness. And also is, pagdating naman kay Abraham Maslow, we are referring to the esteem needs. That is respect for other person. We must be affiliated to other because we believe that no man is an island. So that is what we call to McClellan's acquired needs theory, that we need for affiliation. Next is need for power. This is the desire to control others, to influence their behavior, and to be responsible for others. Or when you are elected as the president of your group, you must be with what we call for power. You have to control others in such good ways. No? Hindi yan ikaw ang napili, kukontrolin mo sila sa maling prinsipyo mo. No. So, ganun din naman sa motivation theory in the PNP that you have that power. Kasi just like for example, sa Eliza, pag sinabing Eliza, Director Eliza, is talagang alam mo pa lang sa pangalan niya at narinig mo na, nakokontrol niya na ang nasa lahat ng opisinahan ng mga kapulisan, di ba? And he is responsible for other police officers also. Di ba? That is what we call the need for power. You have the power to control them. But of course, you are responsible for controlling them. Okay? So, naintindihan pa natin yung class. Nakikita niyo ba yung slides ko pa?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
I am not connected anymore. So, I'm sorry. Next, okay. Anong oras kayo mag-out? It's 11:34 na. So, next is the principles of police organization. So, kailangan din natin that...
It's up to you, Ma'am May. If you want to have the lunch break, then it's up to you, Ma'am. Kung ano yung...
12 na lang, sir, para naman, mas makan yung oras.
Okay.
12 na talaga. So, we continue the principles of police organization. We have to adopt different principles, no, for in the police organization, simply because it can help us perform well in the distributions of the workload to the police officer. First is the specialization, so grouping of activities and segregation of line staff and auxiliary function. As you can see in the line organization picture, na kailangan talaga, it must be grouped. It must be what we call segregation of line, staff, and auxiliary function. Because when you have this kind of specialization, the division of work is easily given. And alam nila kung hanggang saan lang yung limitations of limitation of the loaded work. Then hierarchy of authorities, there's a formal relationship among superiors and subordinates in any organization. From top to bottom lang yan. Knowing your position, who will be your subordinates and who will be on your higher subordinates or on your low position. Span of control, that is the maximum number of subordinates at a given position. Example, you are the COP. So, ilan lang ba, you have your how many deputies, and each deputies, ilan lang ang nakakontrol ng tao. As example, the span of control is yung mga dinedeploy nilang OJT, di ba? Meron silang mga assigned personnel na magbantay sa kanila. So that is in the maximum number of subordinate or what we call the span of control. Next is the delegation of authority, conferring of an amount of authority by superior position to subordinate. I-delegate ka lang ng higher subordinate mo. Then unity of command. The command will always become from the one or your superior only. Next is we will now identify the different terms, no? Ito muna tayo sa police personnel management. So when we say police personnel management class, no, it is referring to the human resource management, wherein it is maybe defined that as the area of management concerned with the human relations in the police organization. Or as an overview, police personnel management uses planning, organizing, directing, and controlling of a day-to-day activities involved in procuring, developing, and motivating them in coordinating their activities, their activities to achieve the aims of the police. Why do we need this police personnel management? Simply because when you have what we call efficient management on human resources, in any organization yan, you will be having what we call success. No? Mas especially when there is what we call demand in the human response brought about by the several factors. And then when you have this personnel management, good personal management, there will be a what we call efficient performance of your personnel. No? What is really the purpose, no? What is really the purpose of police personnel administration? First, is the prime objective of an effective police personnel administration is the establishment and maintenance for the public service of a competent and well-trained police force under such conditions of work that its force may be completely loyal to the interests of the government at all times. Siyempre, when we have here, no, we have the purpose of police personnel administration. First is um, we can now serve the people, no, with competent because we are well trained. So that is the purpose. Next is the objective of personnel management. The management of human resources is delegated to the unit of organization known as the HRD, or what you call the Human Resource Department. This is to provide, of course, the services and assistance needed by the organization's human resource in their employment relationship with the organization. The important task of the Human Research Department is winning employees' acceptance of organization's objective. So, in an organization, di ba may objective tayo? So, para ma-adapt natin or the employee's acceptance, we have to manage the personnel by these objectives. First, to assist top and line management achieves the organization objective for fostering harmonious relationship with its human resource. Sabi ko nga sa inyo, in one organization, when you delegate, when you know what we call the unity of command, and there is what we call the hierarchy of authority, it will foster harmonious relationship. Kasi alam nyo kung hanggang saan ang limitado ng posisyon na hinahawakan natin. No? Next is to acquire capable people and provide them with opportunities for advancement in self-development. Yan. You are giving them what we call good opportunities for them for personal growth. To assist top management in formulating policies and programs that will serve the requirements of the police organization and administer the same fairly to all members. So, it is assist daw to top management in formulating policies and programs. As of now, the PNP are making innovative ways to be affiliated with a different agency in the community. Why? For them to be able to provide and formulate policies and programs that will enhance them in the policing system. It can help them to be more efficient and innovative in performing their duties as a police officer. Yes, diba? Nowadays, as I look back, there is what we call PNP affiliated on the programs of the Department of Education. They are helping the DepEd for distributing modules. Yan. Pinagbabasa na rin nila, inuutosan na rin nila mga PNP natin ngayon na makihalubilo sa mga bata na turuan magbasa. That is the programs, right? Na-adapted. So, na-enhance, no? Ano nga ba ang objective ng personal management? So, to provide technical services and assistance to the operating management in relation to their personal functions in promoting satisfactory work environment. Within the organization itself, they provide technical services and assistance. Kaya nga, the police officers, the police heads in every offices, they are sending their police officers to attend schooling, yan, no, para mas mapalawak nila yung kaalaman nila kung ano yung coverage ng kanilang posisyon. For example, you are in the logistics office ng PNP, then your boss will be going to allow you to attend the what we call um, trainings or skill training for you to do well as a logistic officer, not to perform well at your position. Next is to assist management in training and developing the human resources of the organization if it is not have a separate training department to perform its function. Ito po naman is within the organization or with the affiliated with other department. Example, within the department, within the organization na lang po ng PNP. So they are the one who have assist the management in training. They will conduct sets of what we call the trainings for them, no? Development, parang God, gender and development. Mga ibang organization, may ganyan sinasali sila. Next, see all the police members are treated equally in application of policies, rules, and regulation and in rendering services to them. Or police officers are treated equally daw, but some of them, I don't even know if it is treated equally talaga. But ang personal management daw, kailangan, ang objective niya, it must be equal to all members, police members in the organization. The rules and regulations, no, pinag-duty na kami, Sir Muti, si OP nga, you are requesting that I will be having my duty for 1 week and leave for 1 week, and then, kung ganun ang kanyang rules and regulations, so dapat lahat kayo ganun, lahat ng police members niya doon, ganun din ang pag-duty. So, kailangan treated equally. Next, to help effect organization development and institution building effort. Effect organization development and institution building effort. So, sabi ko nga, the organization of the PNP are now having an innovative way to be affiliated from other departments. Next, okay. Kita tayo. Operative function of a police personnel. Operative within the organization lang tayo, ha. Police personnel planning is the study of the labor supply of job, which are composed with the demands of employees in an organization to determine future personnel requirements, which either increase or decrease. If there is an expected shortage of personnel, the organization may decide to train and develop present employees and recruit from outside. Ano pa daw ang other operative function ng police personnel? Yan, police personnel planning. Kaya minsan yan, nagkakaroon ng mga quotang kailangan. O kulang tayo sa ganitong what we call region. Yan. Kailangan natin mag-increase yan. Kasi the manning level is 1 to 500 in the urban and in the rural is 1 to 1,000 if I'm not mistaken, no? So next is police recruitment. Meron daw tayong sinasabing police recruitment. Pagka kayo napasa, it is the process of encouraging police applicants from outside an organization to seek employment in an organization. The process of recruitment consists of developing a recruitment plan, recruitment strategy, formulation of job applicant search, screening of qualified applicants, and maintaining a waiting list of qualified applicants. That is called police recruitment. Apply kayo nito, nalpas kayo nakapasa. Pero kailangan ipasa ninyo. Next is the time when there is a selection or screening. It is the process of determining the most qualified police applicant for a given position in the police organization. Application for police officer 1. So you have to apply. Nagpas sila ng recruitment. The police selection will always have the screening committee. No? They will now see who are qualified. But of course, they have to meet the minimum requirements. No? They will not they will have to consider the minimum requirements when you are applying for that position. So there is a group of police officer or there is a police selection group. Next is the police placement. It is the process of making police officer adjusted and knowledgeable in the new job and a working environment. So, siguro that is referring to the selection. That is, you have your new job. Kunwari, malipat ka sa division ng investigation o dati ka namang nasa PCR. So, kailangan you have knowledge and you must be, you know how to adjust and accept the new knowledge on your new job. No? Continuation of that is police training and development. Happen to my slide, but not ganun. So, police training and development, this refers to method used to improve the attitude, knowledge, and skill or behavior pattern of an employee for adequate performance of a given job. It is a day-to-day, year-round task a police officer, a new position undergo a learning process given a formal training or not. Learning is made easier for officer when the organization provides formal training and development. It reduces unnecessary waste of time, materials, man-hours, and equipment. That is true. What function of operative of police personnel? There is a selected personnel for you to train and for you to develop your attitude, personal skill, or knowledge, yan, behavior, lahat naman, even though sa ibang ahensya nga, when you go to your when you in your new job, there's the training conducted. But in the PNP, alam natin yan na 1 year round task na iti-train nila ang mga police officer. No? Kaya you have to be fit. Kailangan physically, mentally, lahat psychologically fit kayo pag nag-apply tayo ng police training. Huwag kayong gumaya sa akin. I am not physically fit in applying police law kasi isa yan na tinitignan. Siguro dahil sa kaseksihan ko kaya hindi ako kinuha sa PNP. No? Next is police appraisal or performance rating. Ako, dito na. Pag nakapasok na kayo, sabi, the operative function of police personnel also needs appraisal. No? They have to check your performance level or there is a performance rating. So it refers to performance rating is the evaluation of the traits, behavior, and effectiveness of a police officer on the job as determined by the work standards. Kasi may sinusunod sa PNP. No? May whole year sa isang taon, merong scheduled silang PFT ba? Tawag doon, yes. No? Kailangan evaluate yung kanilang physical attributes, not only that physical but of course the traits they have and behavior to be more effective as a police officer on the job. It is judgmental if it is made of a tool decision making for promotion, transfer, pay increase, termination, or disciplinary action against police officer. It is developmental in purpose when the evaluation is used to facilitate officers' improvement in performance or used to improve recruitment, selection, training, and development of personnel. Kailangan daw din ma-update naman, hindi naman lagi. Diba ngayon, nowadays, from police officer 1, promoted after 2 years, they have to evaluate you if you are really qualified for the promotion. Diba? Kailangan i-check yan. Kailangan gawing, that is one of the operative functions of police personnel. No, kung merong grupo na nag-assess, nag-i-screen, meron din grupo na nag-train, meron din yung grupo ng mga kapulisan natin that they are assigned on appraisal and evaluating your performance on your job. If you are doing well, or you're just like Churi X ba? O nasa Churi Y tayo. So they have to evaluate. So that if you do your job well, then you need this appraisal and promotion. Next is police compensation. Nako, ito na. Ang pinakamasarap na pag-usapan. The last but not the least, the police compensation. No, financial compensation in the form of wages of salaries constitute the largest single expenditure for most organization. In metropolitan Manila and other urban centers, wages of salaries represent the sole source to meet the basic needs of food, clothing, and shelter. It also provides the means to attain the standard of living and economic security that vary in degrees upon a person's expectations. So, they have also an operative function that they have to compensate based on your position, based on your performance. So, the better you are, at na-promote ka ng na-promote, then of course, your compensation also arise. No? Kailangan din ito for us to meet and to buy the basic needs in our in everyday living. Kailangan yan. So, the police officer also assigned on the budget, yan, finances, dyan yung grupo ng magpapasweldo sa ating mga kapulisan. They must be compensated properly according to their position and length of service in the organization. So, hanggang dyan muna siguro tayo. It's already 11:54. Sir Donald?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much, Ma'am May, for this AM session. And siguro, ma'am, magre-resume tayo alauna, Ma'am May?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sige. So, we will resume, at 1 p.m. And may I again remind, dear future top notchers, alam nyo, medyo kwan ako ano yun? Yung tawag nila na ambisyoso, ambisyoso ako na maging top notcher kayong lahat, no? Hindi lang iilan. Kung pwedeng lahat kayo, why not, di ba? Please join again the same link before 1 p.m. Para naman pagpasok na ni Ma'am, at least we are already ready at exactly 1 p.m.